Hey lovelies, it's Love. I vibe y'all. Uh, just been as I was saying, really focused the last few days, both just on handling stuff, but also just, of course, with the full moon, Aries full moon, so all in my feelings. So anyway, but I just had like such an opening, which I guess I'm so not even surprised because I so deep dived. I think it was what was Wednesday, the night of the full moon, and of course 2 days later, like the culmination of that just happened actually just while I was out walking. So I definitely wanted to share because it's just like so exquisite and amazing. One of the big things on night of full moon, like I said, just so took a straight head dive deep into like shadow energy, and it was cool though because it was just from an energy of like appreciation and awareness and saying, okay, no, this is an opportunity, but just wasn't hesitating at all going deep into it. What kind of came up was the concept, what came up was the vibe of, and I know this is the first time that I'm actually playing music, but this is just like this song in particular. Oh my gosh, it's just such an exquisite music. It's like one of my favorite songs right now. So, and since I was listening to it while I was walking, I thought I'd share. So, but anyway, what came up was the concept of the intrinsic value of life, and this is on the full moon night, and really just vibing into it, and really just vibing into it, feeling it more so just the thought, because of course that's just like necessarily can really think about, even though what came up for me is the awareness of all of source, life, existence feels to me like the soul of life, whereas I guess what they describe as the spirit, I think in the Bible they say God sent the spirit to like, and it flew over the water or whatever. That for me feels like that spark of life, that motivation. And that's a lot of, because I've been vibing a lot into the awareness of source, but I realized what was coming up was this concept of the flow, the continuation, the movement of life. And that's what feels like the spirit of life. And so just connecting with that, like beyond anything, anyone, just knowing that everything is just continuing to flow. And so the next day, what came up, vibing deeper into that, the next day was the concept of trusting that. And just, really seeing how overall in life, just I haven't trusted myself. Just actually was having a great conversation with another sister, and starting yesterday and then today with my roommates about self-trust and how to like just let go and trust and open. And so this very much like vibes with all of the conversations of the vibes that I've been sharing. And what came up for me, one, of course, I was just loving that the way it, like, the culmination also, and the inspiration for it to culminate also came up in the fact that we've been, my roommates and I in particular, but also the sister and who I was talking to, were talking a lot about relationships. And of course, my system just loves the concept of, okay, whatever will make a relationship happen and work, yeah. So what I really vibed into was in regards to the potential of connecting with someone who may or may not share similar vibes, thoughts, just in particular in regards to spirituality. What came up, I guess the other thing that came up, matter of fact, hold on, I'm just going back to my favorite song. There we go. Okay, so what also came up was the concept of loss, or what feels like loss. Well, that was a huge part of the inspiration for vibing into the intrinsic value of life, particularly in my case when I feel shocked, at a loss, and am not soothed in any way in regards to that. It was so. The first thing that came up, realization tonight, was like there is no such thing as a loss. There's differences, but not actual loss. And that's definitely something that I've been vibing into in regards to my current connections and sharing. It's like, okay, things might be different, but in the end all to be all, they still have value. They're still nourishing and valuable and opportunities that just may be different than what I might be, expecting or thinking. And so, of course, one of the big things of, once again, coming up with the concept of just letting go. And it's like, okay, let me just let go of this concept of how the way I feel like it has to be. Because feeling like, holding on to the concept of feeling like it has to be a certain way is where the concept of loss comes in. What if it's just like, oh, we just honor, both sides. It's different, okay, but it's also valuable. That's where you don't feel that concept of loss. So it's like really huge to like really vibe into that. I'm particularly in vibing into the concept of oneness, allness, love, the intrinsic value of everything. Really saying, okay, yeah, there's differences, but there's actually no loss. So it's like really powerful to vibe into that. And then the next part with that was just like, so huge, just like, oh my gosh, realizing. And I was actually vibing with this with the sister, matter of fact, right before I went out for the walk, in regards to exactly where we are, with whom we are, and all the experiences are exactly what's in line with our energy. Once again, it goes back to there's no concept of loss, because whatever you're experiencing is perfect for you at the time. And it's like, wow, okay, so there's really kind of more vibes into the concept that spirituality is just truly openness, open to anything and all things. And this concept that I have been vibing for a while, that spirituality is a certain way, it's around certain people doing certain things. It's like, nah, spirituality is just being open to all of it, appreciating all of it. And it really much, for me, vibes very much into the question that Yashodhara asked Buddha when he returned to the palace. And she was like, so did you have to leave to reach enlightenment? He was like, no. And that really very much vibes my own vibe. Like I can really vibe into why he said that, in a sense that if spirituality is just openness, you can reach enlightenment anywhere and with anyone and having any experiences. And particularly in the case that all is, and we're experiencing all infinitely. And if whatever, like for me, if whatever the thing that we say we want or we feel like is our purpose, if it truly is, it'll come no matter what. Like we don't have to focus on making it happen or try to control how it happens. It's gonna happen no matter what. And that was like a big part of, like, there was a conversation that I was having with one of my roommates about how things are kind of flowing in the United States, like energetically wise, or what that could mean. And I was like, man, Trump might be the biggest inspiration for me to get to the tropical island. And I was like, yo, I gotta just like be really open, like to, if I'm meant to be on that tropical island, it's gonna happen. And it doesn't matter who, where, what I do, it's gonna happen. And that's where it was just like such an opening and just like this realization that spirituality truly is openness, and it doesn't matter where, how, and whatever you are experiencing is fully in spiritual alignment with you. And if there's things that in the future you want, if they're truly in alignment with you, they will happen no matter what. So yeah. So anyway, y'all, super excited. Like I said, most likely over the next few weeks or months, I don't expect to be doing a whole lot of video sharing, but when these really powerful moments come, I will share out. So anyway, love y'all. Thanks for being y'all. And we were at 8:21, so we will do 8:33. Bliss.